وسيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا سهلا. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم أخرجنا من ظلمات الوهم إلى نور الفهم وأكرمنا من معرفة العلم وزين أخلاقنا بالحلم يا أرحم الراحمين. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal, with the conclusion of the first day and the beginning of the second night, to accept from us our siyam and our qiyam and our dua and our dhikr. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who are accepted in this month of Ramadan. Allahumma ameen. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم تقبل منا الصلاة والصيام والدعاء والقيام والذكر وتلاوة القرآن. اللهم أعنا على القيام بحق رمضان. اللهم أعنا على القيام بحق رمضان. اللهم أصلح بالصيام أبداننا واطرد به أذى الشيطان عنا. اللهم أصلح بالصيام أبداننا واطرد أذى الشيطان عنا. اللهم أصلح أمر المعاش والمعاد وأصلحها لأمة حبيبك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم في كل مكان يا سميع الدعوات يا رب العالمين. Ameen, ameen. Time is very scarce and we want to start on time inshaAllah ta'ala. But we also want to address the hadith of today. And as we said yesterday, the intent and purpose that we have for this month in terms of a theme is to reflect on the Quran and Sunnah, morning and night. That's why the theme of the month is في ظلال الكتاب والسنة, in the shade of the Quran and Sunnah. And we have selected hadiths and selected ayat. Selected hadiths are from a well-known hadith collection, and that is the 40 Nawawi hadiths. These hadith need to be known by every Muslim. And that is because they are qawa'idul Islam. They are foundational hadith that relates to pillars of the deen. And that's why Imam al-Nawawi carefully selected each one of them to be included in his book. And the hadith that this collection starts out with is the Hadith of Intentions. This hadith is very, very famous. It's known as Hadith al-Niyya. And it says, it's narrated by Sayyidina Umar. It says, عن أمير المؤمنين عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه وأرضاه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى فمن كانت هجرته إلى الله ورسوله فهجرته إلى الله ورسوله ومن كانت هجرته لدنيا يصيبها أو امرأة ينكحها فهجرته إلى ما هاجر إليه. Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم gives guidance and clarity that our judgment is going to be scaled and weighed by our motive. What is your motive? You're doing this act. What is driving you to do it? The niyyah is the ruh and spirit of the action. Just as we need good intentions, of course, we need to have proper behavior, right? We have salah al-niyyah wa sihhat al-amal. These are two things that go hand in hand. The intention needs to be done right, with proper motive. And that's the ruh and spirit of the act. But then also the act needs to follow through in conforming with truth and guidance. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَّا نَوَى. People will be given their reward based on how unique and special their intentions are. Perhaps two people will do the same exact act, but one will be far more superior because of the beauty of that person's intention. And that's why our scholars, they teach us from long ago about niyyah. They say, niyatul mu'mini ablagu min amalih. The intention of the believer is far more reaching than what he's capable of doing, in the sense that the believer is someone who is genuine, sincere, wants goodness and wants it in so much amounts that he can't possibly do, as much as his heart has gold in it. And that's something special. The niyyah is something that you don't need money to have. You don't need status to have. Every single one of us could have a sense of intentionality with what they do. And that's why you'll find sometimes Small amounts of action may outdo a large amount of actions. رب درهم سبق ألف درهم. This is what our deen teaches us. Maybe a dirham, $1, may outdo 1,000. And if anything, you'll find at the top of the list for the reasons for that is because of the power of intention. The power of intention is something deeply embedded within us. The Prophet ﷺ, he says about hijrah, one of the most magnificent things you could do, or that you could have done if you were alive in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Hijrah. The Prophet ﷺ said, if your hijrah was for Allah and His Prophet, then your hijrah is for Allah and His Prophet. If your hijrah was for dunya, then your hijrah is for dunya. That's what you will get. And that's what you'll experience. The subject of intentions is so close to home because we have an intention with every day that we fast. We have an intention with every salah that we pray. And we have an intention with every act of worship and every act of goodness that we do. What's motivating me? You know, intention is one of the greatest vehicles to actually experience worship and ibadah in a special way. Intentionality. This is something that we speak about a lot when we talk about salah and siyam. The Prophet ﷺ, he teaches us, رُبَّ صَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعُ وَالْعَطَشِ وَرُبَّ قَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ قِيَامِهِ إِلَّا السَّهَرِ. What do you think makes the difference? The internal state, these are two people who are both fasting. The Prophet ﷺ tells us some people who fast will only get thirst and hunger. May Allah not make us from them. Ya Allah. Imagine going through Ramadan after Ramadan and exerting yourself only to find that all of those actions turn into dispersed dust. No weight, no effect, no reward. And the Prophet ﷺ goes on to say, some people might stay awake all night in prayer, and the only thing they get is exhaustion. Brothers and sisters, niyyah is not an easy subject. It is one of the subjects that we often speak about. But it is so difficult to actually control your intention. The intention keeps on changing. Actually, they say that why was the qalb referred to as qalb? لماذا سمي القلب بذلك؟ لتقلبه. The heart's ever changing. They say that the qalb was referred to as such because the internal state, our emotional state, our soul is often susceptible to change. And that's why one of the Salaf, he said, I struggled with my intentions for 20 years until I felt I was able to commandeer it and control it. I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make one of the joys of this Ramadan, brothers and sisters, the joy of the qalb in having pure and sincere motive for Allah Azza wa Jal. Really, these hadith need hours of explanation. And there's no way that we could discuss all the aspects of intention, but I hope in this is a quick dose of something that will remind us of a critical aspect of the things that we do. May Allah Azza wa Jal accept from us and guide us and give us tawfiq and make us of those who love the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ and learn from its teachings and guidance. Allahumma ameen, Allahumma ameen. And inshallah we'll have adhan now with our beloved Shaykh Abdul Hamid and then start our salah. Can we move this table inshallah?